I've seen Max One has posted. You say it like. Alright, guys, welcome to the evening reaction on the social matters. Of course, during the day, we did a long video on political reaction, and maybe I'll just do a short one on Live Saga TV. So currently, let's take into the social reaction on Nyabohanse, guys. And a lot is coming out from Nyabohanse, and of course, drama will never end in this village. And that is why we always camp here to talk about what is happening. So remember, recently we had drama surrounding Gintu. Gintu is doing a lot of projects which he calls charity, of course. All of us know that charity within Nyabohanse also enhances these YouTubers to collect some money here and there. However, Gintu has been doing so many for different people. And I saw somebody known as Village Echoes critiquing how possible it is for somebody to manage several projects. Of course, what I understand is it's very possible for anyone to manage various projects if you're just there to oversee and make sure that there is delivery of material, for example, bricks, doors, sand, and also coordinate the, masons. And remember, Nyabohanse is a village full of masons. From left to right, you will see masons all over the place, some of whom come from Tanzania. So, of course, it's not really a problem for Nyabohanse to have someone running several projects and managing them. It's very possible. Why? With several masons and several places to buy this stuff, somebody can make it, right? So when I saw the analysis, Max One was when I saw that analysis that was being conducted, I was like, be serious, Max One. Unless you are not a serious manager. Managers can control several projects only if they have made already advanced, or rather earlier, processes in planning what to do. You get it? So I don't see how, you can argue about anything to do with the construction in line with the fact that somebody is managing various projects, as long as they are purposing to finish. Maybe we should go into an analysis of how many projects has Gintu managed to finish. That is what we should look at. And of course, I've not been following so closely what Gintu has been doing. But I saw him doing a project for the Jigas family. I saw some toilets being constructed. I also saw him around Mogesi's home. And so far, I'm not so sure about what has been done. Maybe I need to check on that to realize whether it's possible for Gintu to be a good manager, because the aspect with Nyabohanse is that these people are not really so much informed about what to do. Gintu says that he used to be a loader. Then possibly he went to work at Maro. Then he came about as a YouTuber. Ricardo Beretta, thank you so much for showing up on my channel. I appreciate your presence as top fan number 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence, and continue liking the video. If you're new also, because I've not seen that name so easily. Manoa Khalifa says Tagwele. Okay, Tagwele. That looks like, I don't know whether Spanish or whatever, because it sounds familiar, but I can't even establish how to respond. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, it looks to me like it's a Manoa Khalifa. You should be the one to Tagwele, not me, okay? From what I understand, Tagwele possibly means keep quiet. And some of you are very lousy. You come on people's channels and tell them to shut up, but you have no idea about what you want to say. And then when somebody comes squarely, they want to face you, disappear. I would actually wish to see somebody post a video, a reaction on me, and I'll be so glad. I'll go to watch and support you. But when you come to a channel and somebody tell somebody to keep quiet, you are supposed to be the one to Tagwele. Go to hell, Manoa Khalifa, okay? All right, so now let's proceed ahead and talk about Gintu. Of course, Gintu has been doing a lot of stuff in the village. Now, I don't want to actually do a praise or whatever. What I want us to go through is an analysis. Now, recently we saw Percy coming for Gintu. She ballistically came to show that Gintu is after scamming a subscriber, or rather a donor, who was contributing towards Matiko's, project. Now, of course, we remember the first person who decided to donate towards Matiko's project was a lady that called on phone after Matiko fell out with David Jr. And she argued that David Jr. was trying to embarrass this family, make them look like they are minions, mere minions in the village. And she found some embarrassment in the sort of treatment David Jr. was offering to Matiko, always calling them drunkards, useless, vampire grandma, and all those names. So she was not okay with that. And she said that, yeah, even though Matiko has been drinking and should stop, but you cannot actually use that as a sort of tool to punish them every day and announce what they are doing, which I agree with, all right? And she decided to go through Matiko and say that Matiko should be managing the project. She even said on camera that, Matiko should be listening to the video calls. So these other stories surrounding the phone. And by the way, did you see Percy's receipt? That receipt she was showing was reading a very different figure, while she was busy giving us a different figure. I was like, does this woman even understand herself? Because if you want to square somebody or pin them down, you should have correct evidence so that you sound credible. However, if you're coming out to reveal information, yet on the other hand, you are actually pulling receipts and reading different figures, even with a receipt, you can't say the right thing. She came to sit down and she was reminding Matiko that everything will be possible, God is there. Sometimes I just wonder why people are blasphemic. We tend to easily mention the name of God even when you are not supposed to. Because when you are on a mission to destroy another person, there is no sense of mentioning God in that, okay? You do your thing. If you feel that's okay with you, do it as a human being and stop bringing God into that. All right, so Noor Ali, welcome. Now let's take on what Gintu can tell us here and see what we can contribute to this topic. Noor Ali, hi, welcome.
I want me to get into this kind of the project, and you reached Gintu out. I'm not the one who reached you out. Like, okay, they're talking so much things like, oh, Gintu, you have scammed this kind of the woman. That woman doesn't have money. It's just talking too much. It's her lady who is talk about the daughter who is having much of the money. Complications much of the time, ABCD, she's just talking much. And
Noor Ali says, I'm from Iraq. Welcome. This is
they are here to look for
a channel in Kenya.
And get some food. And they're giving out the money. And what is the real fact of somebody to come out and think about you're going to be coming to associate us in this kind of the fraternity? We say, I've ever gone to Matiko's home with so many things. And why couldn't I use that kind of the opportunity when people are sending like, okay, Gintu, I this kind of the home and get this kind of the greens, get this kind of the things to this kind of the home, and people trusted. And they know this kind of the thing going to be reaching where responsible at that kind of the moment. But there's somebody who can come outside, and I think this is just a setup that was coming out. And the good fact is, I understand, because not everybody is aware of how the things are always conducted and the things are just going on. Because a person can reach out unto you, knowing like this kind of the person going to be now ruining and talk about, okay, going to be now ruining Gintu's a philosophy, or going to be ruining Gintu's aptitude, and talk about, yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. That is not the momentum. And I'll come to this kind of the equation. They're raising the only money that is in a question mark. It's just a simple and a small token money, which is just 29,000, which is a very small token money that they're just complaining about. Oh, Gintu, I sent you 29,000. That's something that somebody can raise up. A person from the US can raise up and talk about, oh, Gintu, you have 29,000. That's a whole person can raise up.
All right, guys. Does it mean now Gintu is trashing what the lady did? Maybe sending 29,000 to buy a phone for a Matiko? Now, according to him, he thinks that the lady was framing him up And he came out as someone intending to ruin his reputation, or rather to trash his philosophy. I'm not so sure about it, but what I believe is Gintu should have maybe just watched from a distance. But when he comes out to say that that is little money that somebody should in America should not really brag about having raised, that actually is a kind of I don't know whether to call it boastful. Is it kind of rude? I'm not so sure. Okay, I'm not so sure because I'm listening to that and it doesn't sound very palatable. And if I'm not even the person from US, but I just think like that, I don't know if this person feels the same or even other subscribers. So sometimes YouTubers in Nyabohanza don't care about what they say. They want to trash it and look like they are geniuses. Money is easy to get. It's easy to work on. And they don't count themselves as lucky because not every part of this country has YouTubers making money as they are doing so. Nor Ali, you said you are from Iraq. I also said I appreciate your presence here. And you said you don't know English, you don't speak it, and you use translation, which is okay, but you can learn English with time. I believe in Iraq, most of you use Arabic majorly, and maybe, I don't know which other language you do use that makes you not to, speak English, but it's good to know English. Anglophone countries do much communicate in English, and only Francophonic do communicate in French, while there are few countries with these other languages. So it's always good to learn English if you are interested in watching channels that communicate in English, because it will be a little bit difficult for you to get every word correct. Remember, we are not native speakers of English as much as we're trying, and there are some words which may not be pronounced correctly by us compared to the British people or Americans. All right, so anyway, it is what it is. So I welcome you to my channel. Please subscribe if you're interested, because I can see you have interest. And thank you so much. May God bless you. Balraj Singh, this is from Poland or USA. Sidhu Moswala, USA, welcome. Thank you so much from USA. I hope everything is fine right there. Matijiri. Matijiri, where are you from? Let us know as we continue with this discussion. So guys, let me ask you one thing. If you're having donors who are coming from different countries, whether it's Canada, America, UK, who are trying to help individuals around you, maybe they are friends or maybe relatives or what have you, the vulnerable. And then a saga is raised by maybe individuals whom you've shared the same information with, or because you did a kind of, let's say a video about it, what would you say? Because Matiko seems to be very naive. In my view, I believe because many people have never done what this lady was trying to do for him, then I don't understand how he would be so gullible to begin explaining everything to Percy. Sometimes in life, we need to keep some things just undercover. You do a project fully without necessarily informing people of what you're doing, because you do not know your enemies until you meet them. And you might be having people coming around to distract you from what you're doing, just because they don't want whatever you're doing to continue, or rather proceed up to the end. And it's unfortunate. I'm just wondering whether Matiko can manage the project. He's a drunkard. Of course, we understand he's very alcoholic. His father is. The mother is also doing that, the sister. So how can they manage their own project? They can't. And all the YouTubers in Nyabohanza at some level, they have some greed. But then, if someone can actually manage it and finish the project, it is worth it. That's what I believe. San, welcome. Thank you so much for coming here. You're saying daily stream, daily gym. Do you do streaming of gym works? I'm a fan of gym, but currently I am not really having that time for gym. And maybe martial arts. That's what I really love, away from any other thing that I do. And hello, son. I hope you're fine. And maybe I'll be checking on you. It has been a very busy schedule. in a manner that I've been unable to give it back to those people who watch me. But I'll be checking on some of you, especially those who subscribed lately, so that I'm able to also support you. They always say you give for you to receive, and that's what I should be doing. So thank you so much for keeping it real every moment. So I asked a question, and you might actually think of your response, your reaction. What is your thought about this? Because in my quiet, sometimes silence is more effective than making noise. But Gintu seems to be irritated, making noise left to right, and possibly that's what this person wanted, if at all they were coming to frame him or they were sent. But I also don't believe in these things where every YouTuber in Yabohanze believes in enemies, haters, and all that. In fact, even before I go so far, you remember yesterday David Jr. dropped a video. And while he dropped a video, he intentionally wanted the mother to share information about somebody who came to the home and why. And we came to learn about, is it Hello Baby? Hello Baby, who once got into a conflict with David Jr. and the entire family. Of course, when you have a problem with the Dimongo, then you have a problem with the entire Ondari family. If you have a problem with the Marwa, you will have a problem with the entire Ondari family. And the same happens with when you have a problem with David Jr. It's only rare, for example, Maro sometimes pull along the enemies David Jr. has, because of course we understand the two of them, they are not friends. They hate each other, but they may not show it on camera. But evidence is there. David Jr. did a video. He said he will never forgive the brother fully, and he will never love him at all after what happened between them. So there is some rivalry between the two brothers. And of course, we have even confirmed when the Argentina family came, obviously in a family where there is peace and harmony, you would have seen partly David Jr. considering to be there, but he has never been. We have even never seen him around Romina or Laura or that family in general. So anyway, it is what it is. Let's get to listen more to Gintu, but it's unfortunate from his way of rendering what he thinks he should be saying anyway.
And talk about this, what a person can eat. If it could be a transaction of $1 million, what could you do? And talk about, oh, now $1 million has gone. Somebody could just come out and talk about this is what you can just question. Because it's such kind of the small token money. We are not interested in such kind of, the people are just not even interested of knowing what is just there. Somebody's complaining about to give me the receipt. And when I was told, everything you do, give it to Matiko. Everything you do it. It's for Matiko, not yours. And when I did it and talked about, let me go and buy a phone to Matiko, the receipt belongs to Matiko, not mine. So how do you want to claim the receipt from me? Yet you talked about also Matiko will be speaking to you. Are you really normal to your all senses? And to the real fantastic module is when I bought the phone, including where we were, even the receipt was written and I told him, this receipt doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you, Matiko. Take it. And Matiko took it and polished it onto the phone and went home. And that is it. That's how we did it. And if she was to claim for this kind of the receipt, we'll talk about, oh, Matiko, I need that kind of the receipt. I saw it. And the next thing is number 2.
Sorry for the commercial break. Let's just check.
When they're complaining about the 29,000, they want to analyze and see what is this kind of the 29,000 going to be doing. Number 1. When you are told to buy this kind of the phone, when Max One bought a phone to Murimi, Max One placed there the right amount of money that he bought that kind of the phone from that kind of the area. And this kind of the lady watched the video of Max One buying this kind of the phone from that kind of the shop. And she reached and talked about looking to have seen, even I have those kind of the texts, including those kind of the photos showing this kind of the phone, which is, I think it was a Realme 50, not 50. That was the phone. And when she reached out and talked about, okay, this is the phone that I need. I've seen Max One has posted and he has said it's going to be costing 17,500. Is it a factor or less? And this was the quotation that she gave to me and talked about, Gintu, I've seen this kind of the amount, this is what is just sent. But I confirmed to her, like, this kind of the amount going to be 16,000 Kenya shillings, that kind of the phone from the Google, because I was not there. I told her it's going to be costing like 16,000. This is the Google. I don't know when I'm going to be reaching there because everybody looks for the profit. I don't know what's going to be there. And talk about the JBL. You understand when I talk about the JBL headphone or a JBL, maybe we talk about it's a radio, maybe a radio cassette or whatever. JBL is one of the biggest companies that are so expensive. And she said, begin to go purchase this kind of the headphone. The headphone were costing 3,500. I began to 3,000. And that's all the money that was, I just bought that kind of the stuff. Again, when she's complaining about the other extra money, where are they? When I took the mother to Matiko, where she was claiming, even in the same day I contacted her, early in the morning, Mama Matiko contacted me and talked about Gintu. Please, I'm very sick. Ask that woman, is she ready to get me to the hospital because I'm feeling not good and my health is not helping. I talked about, okay, let me speak to her, including she has that kind of the call. I called her, she never picked, and I texted her, Mama Matiko, she's very, very sick. She needs to go to the hospital. And she said, I'm not ready today, but maybe tomorrow, whenever my daughter comes, she will transact the money and I will handle it. Mama Matiko herself, the day I went, she talked about she's having a debt of Kenya revenue and whatever this kind of the money that was given with the Kenyan government, which is called the Hustler Fund. She was having 680 shillings, and that's what we have to pay. And also the SHA, you have to pay the whole year. That is it. Then when we went, we found this kind of the woman now. When I spoke to her, she talked about tomorrow. Then a little bit, Mama Matiko called me. I was handling some of the matters, including the curtains and some other stuffs, including going to look for the lawyer who will be putting the injunction to Matiko's home so nobody can just penetrate to that kind of the home.
All right, guys. So you see, a lot of stuff has to be explained. Like, it's more of a novel, right? But I don't have time to listen to all that. What is coming out is generally the fact that maybe, possibly, the lady who was assisting this family is not aware about their demands, or rather, does not trust Gintu. Because if you trust whoever you are actually working with in managing a certain project, it is always suitable that you call them away from camera, then you understand what is happening without reacting. But unfortunately, the donors who come to Nyabohanze, they are assisting at the same time monitoring from other channels, especially reactor channels. And that's unfortunate because they normally say that the environment in Nyabohanze is toxic, but they make it more toxic because they engage in these discussions which these people are involved in without actually talking to the people they started projects with. Instead, they come to reactors, they listen to other voices, which is unfortunate. But anyway, so Gintu says he's refunding the donor money. Did he say that? I just want to see the end of it when he says what he had to do.
Godfrey said about no, we have not ate anything, we don't have food, we don't have anything. It was a bit headaching until I reached their home. The roads are rolling inside there. Because I can retaliate, because the money that I can receive from a person, we can go to even, how is it called? The main statement, or main statement, or the full statement, and understand where this kind of the money coming from. Because if we absolutely start addressing this kind of the money, what was this sent to do at this kind of the particular moment? Much of the money were coming with no even transaction cost. That is it. But they don't understand. Sometimes we can do it as a favor, like I'm helping this kind of the people. When I see, let me tell the people what made me to, and this kind of the things to come out. Number one, I told her, you are the one who reached out to me to do this kind of the project. I cannot take it as a charity project. You are the one who reached out to me. You are doing the charity, but not me. Now you're going to be using Gintu to this kind of the effective to make sure that he is programming anything to see what's going to be popping out. Now I said, are going to be terminating the rule of charity from this kind of the home, because she said, oh, I'm not paying Gintu. You heard it from the video. I'm not paying Gintu. Gintu is there to shoot some videos. I talked about this lady. She's talking. She's thinking about. She's so wise. I talked about no. I'm gonna be dealing with the contract. Now there's no charity, because how she was driving me, I thought about this kind of the lady. Now it will go this way, and she will turn against me, and I knew it. And I said no. Now I'm not working with charity. Make it happen. I'm gonna be the project manager. She talked about, oh, why Gintu? Have you said about that? I thought about you're doing charity. You're a bad person. You're not doing charity. Who told you I'm there to do some charity and you are the one who reached out to me? So between me and you, who is doing the charity now? That's where now things started cooking from. Let's her come out and say, I expected Gintu to work for free at this kind of the project to make sure that my own suspicions, stupid things to be for me to handle them, it's this kind of the rate. 100,000 when I was sent. Do you understand how much amount I was sent? The same single day to construct the Nestor's toilet. The same day, and I said you're going to be complete in 3 days. Have you ever seen that kind of the lady coming out and talk about talking to? I sent you money. I've not seen what is working. Why you? Some simple. I'm constructing the house at Jiga's family. I'm constructing the house at the other MCA. I'm sorting out some 2-3 things out down here. But nobody has ever come out and talk about the Gintu is scamming you money. Because we talk, we analyze, we talk about this is the money that is needed, this kind of threat. But don't start bringing the problem to the village. 2-3 things, fences there. I poured the materials, which are a lot of stuffs. And they told me, no camera. You understand? Because of the privacy. Yeah. And do they know like I did it? And where is that kind of the person who sent me that money? Like Gintu go and do this kind of the project to the Kenya prisons. And I went with the foodstuffs to the Kenya prison and I made it happen. And I
All right, so Gintu had to come out to reveal so many projects he has been doing, and I hope maybe people will understand what he's doing. And if he wills to return the money, then my question is, will the fund to the shop so that he gets back the money to the person who funded the project? What about the house construction? Because I believe, according to Percy, we have 2 people who are sponsoring that house. So I don't just understand whether that person who called is the one Matiko is addressing or any other. So according to Matiko, this lady wanted, according to Gintu, this lady wanted, the lady to, not the lady, but Gintu, wanted Gintu to take over the projects as charity, the way he has been doing others, and maybe also chip in some cash. But when Gintu said that he doesn't have money to do so, then she began to see him as unsuitable. So let's just take on to the next aspect, which is Marwa. Of course, Marwa is one person who is quite mean. Many people say that he's generous, he's a clean soul, he's so blessed. Okay, you can be blessed, but at the same time, very mean. Maro is one kind of person who is very mean. We've seen him, he's very cold at some people, especially when they're making it. Of course, my Kizo might be there bouncing around, and people like I saw Mawira and others. But when you look even at the reaction of Marwa towards Maja, Kay, towards Nasto, sometimes even towards Gitriba, you realize that he has a sort of meanness in himself. And unless a project is bringing something handy to him, he doesn't feel okay. Now, there is this guy who actually had, was going to, is it college? Now, Maro decided to withdraw money and then give him cash, 60,000, and then tell him to do whatever he will need to do with it. All right? But away from that, my concern is about how Maro actually treats the workers. You saw the other day, there was a worker who had been beaten by a horse. And Maro was just marveled. He was just surprised, equally surprised like the worker. And of course, we understood that the worker had not been beaten once, but others had been also beaten. So Max actually went out to train the horse. And while training the horse, he fell and had a very serious accident. He was hurt in the back and all over the place. Maybe I should play the video instead of talking so much. And then I want to ask you, if you are the boss of this guy, would you sack him? Now Maro goes ahead and sacks this guy in pretense that he was so annoyed at the place where the horses went. But at the same time, he wants these people to guard the horses and, manage them and all that. It is what it is. Sometimes you don't have to sack your worker just once, especially if they have been injured. If this was America or UK, Maro would have had to pay damage fee. Because I don't even understand whether he signs contracts with the workers he hires. Because if you have contracts with your workers, you cannot just sack them. It's very unfortunate that in Kenya, some workers don't even know their rights. They don't even understand how to fight for their rights, how long somebody should actually inform you before they sack you, because somebody should inform you 3 months before they lay you down. But it has been a trend, even for maids in Kenya. You know, somebody just wakes up and tells a worker, I've got a new one, so go. Or I'm now on leave, so I don't need a maid anymore. If this was UK, you can't do that to any worker. You agree, you have a contract of 1 year, let the person work for 1 year and go. And that's why you have contracts, particularly in these countries. So let's just take on what Marwa did to this worker, which I felt so bad about the situation of Max. So I want us to get to that. That video is somewhere here. Yeah, so I watched the Max horse.
Hello guys, welcome back.
And I want to see this.
I told you today will be a special big day for Onyx. This is all about Onyx. Onyx. Here's my little baby horse. Some carrots.
So that was Max while training.
Get some grapes. I'll be so happy. Yeah. And also today, guys, I'm going to give Onyx a freedom to play with the kids. So, to enjoy, you know, the special day for Onyx. Yeah. Hello. Come close. You want to see? Baby just requested if we can get.
Now you realize that the workers who are going about with the horses were two. I don't know whether the two are sacked or they only sacked Max now that he had been injured, and maybe there would be a cost involved in treatment of him, Marwa. I don't understand. You've never worked for anybody anyway, because you are lucky when you finished university, you directly started YouTube and traveled and made money. But you have not possibly seen someone who is struggling and really needs to survive. And that is what most of your workers are. Most of them are struggling, they just want to survive. Some of them are even willing to work for nothing and just try maybe build their YouTubes. And all along you call them boys who just eat around. You remember the day you brought the horses and you were really shouting at the workers. You were reminding them that there's no way they're going to just be lousing around and eating. And you had to actually bring them aprons and say that that is your team that will be dealing with horses. Of course, we were so surprised that some of them had no idea about the horses. However, Max is one person that is interested in horses. From the comments, I've seen people telling him to go to Nairobi farm and volunteer, then work there. Maybe he might get a better job. I don't know whether that's a good idea. Now, when you have some there are some sort of jobs when you engage people in your home. You are supposed to actually have licenses, and you are supposed to also insure them in terms of health. And what I understand is that horses are one of the things that is not just supposed to be treated like, any other animal. Horses can sometimes turn aggressive, especially Marwa's horses, which have been in the wild. He has talked about it. He said that most of his horses were just living in the forest. He did say so. So if he said so, then that means before they are domesticated, it would take some time. And these horses, while training, can easily hurt somebody. We've seen during his horse races, for those of you who watch the cowboys and all that, you've seen a lot of injuries. So that means that Marwa should be ready to insure the horses and also insure the workers, so that in case anything happens, the health insurance covers them, and he should also be ready to, cover up for them. Unfortunately, Maro is not ready to do that because he knows he has Team Marwa, he has subscribers, and those subscribers actually just defend Maro. They don't care about the workers. So I've seen a lot of subscribers on Marwa's end saying, Max, why did you go about with the horses? I'm like, are you so sure that Marwa was not aware about where the horses were going? Because what I understand, most of these workers fear Marwa so much, and they cannot go about to places Marwa has not instructed them to, unless Marwa has hidden some evidence somewhere on how they communicated where to go. Of course, I've seen someone, I didn't have time to check on that video, but I've seen someone dropping a video saying Marwa has now deleted evidence to show the communication between him and Max. Now, of course, he did a whole video to say he should be fired. And we thought it was just, he should be. You know, when you say he should be, you are possibly making a decision. But not yet. However, I was surprised today to realize Maro already did away the marks. Now, let's see how he's struggling in hospital. Even if you are a beast, would you treat somebody who is in this situation as Maro has done? That is double damage. Someone has been hurt. He actually shared that his back has been hurt, his leg and hand. He has a twisted neck. But here, Maro just goes ahead and says he deserves that. And his subscribers too, unfortunately. Now let's look at this. He is in hospital. All right.
So smart, right? Okay. Hey guys. That's my apron. I had an accident. When I came out of the market. See? This is my back. I got hurt. So, I'm in the hospital. My head got hurt too. See? I was coming out of the market and I was content with sneakers. And by accident, she knocked his front legs when he was conjuring, and both of us fell down very bad, and I dislocated my hand, my back too got hurt, and one of my legs. So this happens. It's a very bad accident. Came here to heal. Just came to take the medications. At least to get a tetanus and some meds. Yeah. Feel like I can't even turn my...
He can't even turn. His hand is also sprained and dislocated, and the back too. He is not in good shape. Now, I think what inspired Maro to sack him was the fact that he did this video. Maro is always careful about his brand and damage control. So what he will do is he will do away with you. He will actually label you as a hater immediately. So Max, forget that you ever worked at Maro. What I'm so sure about, very soon you'll be in bad books. You will be really worked against by those who call themselves positive reactors. They call themselves positive, but they'll always attack someone who is not in terms with Marwa. I don't know whether that is being positive about Marwa. That's what we call positive reactors, or what does that mean? Anyway, so Max showed us the damage, and I believe maybe many people have done already reaction on this, and I may not take a lot of time on that. But it's unfortunate. And of course, yesterday you saw what David Jr. was doing. I don't want to show a receipt on that because I just wanted this to be a short video of about 40 minutes. And I can see 1 minute left so that I can go to the other channel again, do 20 minutes and rest. sometimes it can be so difficult to do long videos on both the channels. So you've seen what you've seen. I don't know what your thought is, and maybe you can end here so that I go to live saga and also go through another video. Bye bye for now.